Let's just hit record. Let's just go. Let's keep this opening super raw, unfiltered.
So everyone, we were going to do a deep dive today that was going to be all about the TikTok cult church dancing conundrum situation, fiasco, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And Lauren and I, about 3 hours ago, decided to scrap the whole thing because honestly, we were just a little bit bored by it.
Well, okay, so let's just back it up a little bit, everyone. So we all know the ever wonderful Scott producer is in all of our lives now, okay? Mm-hmm. And Scott is always, nipping at our heels to get it together and do more SEO optimized episodes. And we want to be business girlies. Okay. We want to see the value for Pop Apologist shareholders, AKA us, go up. So we put our shoulder to the wheel sometimes when he says, you should do a deep dive on this. It's trending or whatever. Look here. What?
One thing, Lauren, you use a lot of Mormon terminology, and I do think you don't realize it. Maybe you do realize it, but I saw a comment on one of our videos. It was like Celestial Kingdom, and then it was like the little monocle or like people not understanding. Put your shoulder to the wheel. That might not be a phrase most people are familiar with.
It might not be a phrase people are familiar with, but I guess I just don't assume people are total idiots, Chandler, and don't realize exactly what that means. Put your nose to the grindstone, shoulder to the wheel, okay? Work. Do like Kim Kardashian says and get your ass to work. That's what the Mormon church taught us to do growing up. And that's what Scott wants us to do on this podcast when he wants us to dedicate episodes to SEO optimized topics so that when people, search for a deep dive on the TikTok Netflix documentary, guess who might come up? 2 annoying blondes that hopefully they will actually enjoy our podcast and continue to listen. So we paid for some research to be done on this. Spoiler alert, we didn't compile it ourselves, but we paid a handsome sum for someone else to do it. And when I was reading through it this morning in preparation for this gorgeous episode with you, Chandler, I was just like, I am so bored reading this. There is no chance this is not going to be a horribly boring episode.
Well, I also just want to clarify. It's not that like the report itself was boring. This is not a commentary to our researcher.
It is not.
Like I was watching the documentary yesterday, trudging. Okay, maybe the next episode is going to be juicier. Maybe I'm going to get a little bit more interested in this. I listened to a podcast on it, but I was like struggling.
No, I completely dropped off while I was watching. It's so funny because I dropped off so badly from watching the documentary that I only made it through the last half of the third one. And I was just like, I'll just like pretend like I've seen it all. And hopefully like the research contains all the brass tacks and I'll read it.
For what it's worth, I was also planning on doing the same thing because I was counting on you to have watched the whole thing. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it all the way through. So anyway, in summation, everyone, we had a full deep dive planned for this episode that you'll be listening to very soon here once it hits the airwaves. And we felt like the content was just maybe not enough really to fill an hour-long episode for Pop Apologists. So we decided to stray from that. And all that is to say, I guess there's a part of me that feels like I need to now issue a disclaimer that we do believe something fishy is going on with this TikTok dance cult. It's not that we're like denying it or, deniers, if you will. It just honestly was a little bit dry. And I feel like the most scintillating information wasn't even that crazy. Is that terrible?
No, it wasn't even that crazy. No, it wasn't even that crazy. So we watched Dancing for the Devil, okay, on Netflix, this docuseries. And it's like, okay, these 2 sisters, one of the sisters has fallen in with this cult, this dancing cult, where all the dancers, they like live at this guy's house, essentially, the content creation house, and they're managed by this like religious figure for this church of like 30 people. Ostensibly, we didn't watch it that closely. But the juice is like, oh, we haven't talked to our daughter and sister in a year. And she's like ostracized us. And I'm just like, well, okay. If we go back to Mother God and the woman who literally left her toddler for like 15 years to sleep at the feet of Mother God and like commune with the galactics and cook chicken parm in Northern California, I just feel like I'm a little bit less intrigued.
Well, and I think the issue really lies with us because I think this problem is real. This family struggle to get through to their daughter is real. But I just think we are in like a cult overload moment where we're getting so many documentaries, miniseries, blah, 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 that like not every single one is a banger.
I don't think every cult demands a documentary. And I think that there's enough spectrum of human behavior, and I'm sure outlandish cults, where I would like Netflix and whoever is, directing programming there to focus on ones that are a little bit more outlandish, okay? Like take a leaf out of HBO Max's book, okay? And maybe come up with something as good as the Nexium documentary, okay, that had us wrapped.
Basically, like what the documentary gets to is that the 7M management, which is like a religious idea, led by this pastor, he basically takes a significant cut of their money. And then even more so, you'd have to pay like your management fee, you'd have to pay your tithes, and then you'd have to pay like a man of God fee. Basically, you just ended up paying all of your money to this church. There's also allegations of like sexual like assault from this guy, from people like who are early on in his church. And so anyway, I do think something weird is happening. This guy does not seem like a good actor.
No, it's definitely nefarious, but we don't have like actual famous actresses and heiresses like branding their initials of this dude into like by their hip bone. And that for me is where my interest gets piqued. Okay.
Also, I think this could have been a 1 hour documentary.
Oh, completely agree.
Anyway, let's move on.
Sending love and light to Miranda's family, sending love and light to anyone affected by this cult that we are, a little bored by. Before we move on, Chandler, can we discuss the gorgeousness that is Clean Simple Eats protein powder, my favorite protein powder on God's green earth?
Lauren, this protein powder is the one we have been drinking since college, since the days where, we shared a little apartment. And just like our love for each other, we don't plan on stopping loving Clean Simple Eats anytime soon.
Here's the deal, everyone. Someone messaged me. They're like, no, really, is Clean Simple Eats that good? Like, is it good? Or are you just BSing us? I swear on my unborn child's life that Clean Simple Eats is truly delicious. Okay, I don't even care about the ingredient quality, but their ingredients are clean and grass-fed. Mm-hmm. And more importantly to me, it tastes like a Frosty, a Wendy's Frosty, but it's a gorgeous protein drink.
I mean, I don't even think about the taste of it, if that makes sense. Like the taste is so perfect and delicious and consistent that I don't even like think about the taste. Like it's just like, oh, I know this is going to be good.
It's a treat.
It's a treat. It's wonderful. It's 20 grams of protein per scoop, 110 calories. We love it. Our favorite flavors are the Simply Vanilla and the chocolate brownie batter, as well as the mint chocolate. I think you love, Lauren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the mint chocolate. It tastes like a thin mint Frosty, just blended with ice and water or maybe a little milk. You guys go to cleansimpleeats.com, use code POPAPOLOGIST for 10% off. Truly, it's my secret weapon to getting enough protein and feeling amazing. And it tastes delicious.
Popapologists, 10% off.
So Chandler, let's move on though. How have you been? What's going on with you? Anything new to update us with?
Wow. Oh my gosh. So much is new since I talked to you 3 hours ago. This week has been good. I feel like my injuries have fully healed. I'm healed from my procedure.
Oh, good.
I'm healed from my fall. And honestly, being marred in those two different ways was kind of taking a toll on me. So I'm glad to be back to my like hottest self. And I did start personal training this week. We'll see how it goes. Basically, I have my Equinox. Yes, please.
No, go ahead.
Already back to you.
I'm like, that's enough. We're good. No, but you can continue, Chandler. Let's hear about your Equinox membership.
So I have an Equinox membership, and it's far too expensive, but it is what it is. And I have recently decided that I want to now step out on my Equinox membership and go to a gym close by my apartment, like a little local gym where I can get personal training that's a little bit more anonymous, because I have too many friends. There's no offense to my close friends who might be listening. I have a lot of friends who work out at Equinox with me, and I just want it to be a little bit more private because I don't know. I just do.
No, I completely relate to that. Are you flexing on people though that now you have Equinox and a private trainer? Is that what you're doing right now?
I want people to know that I'm in a financially untenable situation at this current moment.
Great.
And this was a conversation with my CFO. I think I'm going to do it for like a couple of months. This is not going to be a running thing. I want to just like do it for a little stint for the summer, tone up, get in a really good routine. And yeah, that's all.
Your CFO, meaning your future husband.
My fiance. Yeah.
Yes. Who once told you that every dollar has a job? Okay. Words
every dollar has a job. There's no amount of money we couldn't spend our way out of. Some fun things he likes to remind me of. He's super wonderful, super, positive mentality when it comes to money. But I'm grateful for him.
Really quick on your personal training. Like, what's the workout like? How long is it? And how much like harder does it feel compared to another, like a class?
It's hard to say because I've only done it once. And today was like partially an assessment, partial workout. So I feel like I can't really answer that. All I want is someone to really assess how I can get stronger, help push me, and watch my form. So maybe that might only mean like 5 sessions, which is kind of what I'm thinking for right now.
Yeah.
And then I can go to Equinox, do my thing, have a routine down. But like, I just honestly wasn't super sure of my form and like where I am weak. Like even today, she had me run through some exercises and she was like, I noticed when you were doing those bird dogs that you kind of like wiggle a little bit, like my hips kind of wiggle. I'm like, that's not the word I want to use, but that's the only one that's coming to mind. Basically just like stability, something like I need to work on, that kind of thing. So anyway.
Thrilling. Well, I am.
You asked. You asked.
Just once we got to the bird dogs, my eyes, they started closing.
So I've had to hear tales of CrossFit every day this week.
I do want to regale people with my CrossFit journey. Okay. I want to share for everyone out there because some people are interested, Chandler, in my CrossFit journey. Mm-hmm. It is not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. I think that CrossFit, it's like the perfect lifting heavy class. And I highly, highly recommend it. It's not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. I actually think Cara Lauren in the gym was like maybe harder than CrossFit.
What is it like? Do you show up and it's a class or is it just like a free gym, open gym?
So you show up and it's basically 3 circuits, 2 shorter circuits, like 8 to 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. And with like 3 to 4 exercises, you repeat 2 to 4 times. Mm-hmm. So just like any other workout you've done before. And then you have the main conditioning part of it, which has, again, like 4 exercises. You basically just repeat 4 times. And one of those exercises tends to be like a cardio exercise. So it might be like running 100 meters or a bike or whatever. Anyway, it's a solid workout. I think there will be a time in my life where hopefully I like work with a trainer and I'm more on like a bodybuilding program. Yeah. But I think for me at the place I'm at now, I can do a lot of I can get a lot of progress with this before I want to like really try to get ripped with a trainer. I once heard Terry Dubrow give advice that I think was good. He gave it on Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig. I used to listen to that podcast.
Your favorite show?
My favorite show. And anyway, he said that he recommends like just work out every day, but don't go so hard where you're going to injure yourself. Just like keep yourself active. And that's what I'm doing with CrossFit. I'm going 5 days a week. I'm going Monday through Friday. And I'm just like I'm not killing myself when I'm there, like I'm having some perspective on the whole thing. Ugh, I don't need to just like dash myself against the rocks of the CrossFit gym. Okay.
And to be honest, I think that's a little bit of your personality is to maybe go super duper hard.
It's true. It's true. Can I share with you a little personal anecdote, something that's happened to me?
I suppose I thought that's what the last segment was, but yeah.
We have a little more coming. So me and the baristas of San Juan, they're out for me. Okay. They're out for blood. But I had 2 microaggressions in a row from baristas. Okay. Within 10 minutes of each other. And I want to talk to you about it.
Is this at the local place that we love?
So this is not at the local place. And it's not at the place I told the story about the other day. This is at 2 other places. Okay. Lots of little boutique coffee shops around me. I think people think I live like in a jungle in the middle of nowhere, but no, I live in a very like quaint, cute part of San Juan with lots of little hipster spots.
Have you already fallen out of favor with your local place? So the one that I usually go to when I'm there?
It's not that. I wanted to get a coffee on the way to this little vintage shop. Okay. And there were 3 on the way. long story short, I drop in to the first one and I go, hi, do you have cold brew? Because, not every coffee shop has cold brew. Sometimes they just have iced coffee, which is a no for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the barista goes, that's Starbucks.
Oh, gosh.
I'm so sorry. I did not order a grande caramel frappuccino.
You didn't order like a cucumber strawberry refresher, like acai dragonberry. Like
I did not order a cake pop, bitch. I just want a cold brew.
A dragonberry refresher, and I want a spinach panini. Like,
I just seriously said a cake pop and egg bites, okay, and a caramel frappuccino.
Wow.
Okay, so then I just like walk out with my tail between my legs because, I'm like, I'm not going to give it to her. I didn't give her a toot. I just walked out. I just said, okay, sorry, And so I walk dejected to the next coffee place, Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a new spot. I've been excited to try it. I'm like, I asked, do you have cold brew? Yes, the smiling barista says. Wonderful. I'm thrilled.
Wonderful. Alas.
And I say, can I have a cold brew with cream? Oh, we don't have cream. We have milk.
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
This is like, milk is a very different experience from cream. It's night and day in cold brew. I might as well have a different beverage.
When you want cream and all there is milk, it's trash. It's like water. It's like you're drinking water.
It tastes like ass, honestly.
Yeah.
If I'm really getting into it. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to another place, so I guess I'm going to have cold brew with milk. So I order.
You wouldn't get a hot coffee, though?
Chandler, it's June in Puerto Rico in the Caribbean.
I don't know.
It's 89 degrees outside, 100% humidity. No, I'm not a psychopath. I'm not getting a hot coffee. So I get the cold brew. She hands it to me. It's the color of a mahogany desk. Okay. It is the color of a chocolate muffin.
Okay.
It is a dark brown color. I like coffee the color of my skin, no self tanner.
You mean milky. The milk's already been added? I thought you meant like
the milk
raw. And I was like, what's the issue here?
No. She hands me the cold brew, and it is the color of a mahogany desk, Chandler. Okay. Again, I like coffee the color of my porcelain skin. So I say to her, oh, can I have some milk on the side? Because it's also full. By the way, I have tipped $1 on this. I've paid 11% sales tax on it. Yeah, I live in Puerto Rico. Everyone, 11.75% sales tax. Okay. So I'm $8 in to this 12-ounce cold brew situation. And she looks at me, says nothing, just turns around, says nothing, brings what can only be described as enough milk for an ant's baby. Okay? Just the smallest droplet.
And this also probably like 1% milk too?
I who knows, Chandler, because it was a drop in the ocean of my coffee. It barely made a difference. And I wasn't going to put up a fuss. Okay? I already got chewed out for my previous altercation with the coffee people, with the baristas. And anyway, so I just drank my disgusting tasting $8 coffee. And I thought, wow, this is where we are in 2024.
It's so annoying. I'm so sorry. I'm also very particular about my coffee and the color of it. So I fully empathize. I really do think you need to literally just like try out the Stumptown roast that I like and just try out making your own cold brew with it, because I promise you it's delicious and I think you would really like it.
Oh my gosh. Wait. I'm so sorry. That brings me to the third microaggression I forgot about. This was on a separate day, but a couple days ago, I literally, the day I cried in the grocery store, I also got an iced espresso. Okay. On the Patreon, everyone, from last week, we discussed an event that led me to cry in the grocery store. And there's a bit of a language barrier, but anyway, I ordered a espresso over ice. I got handed an iced Americano. Yeah, very different things. Very different. And the only reason I will order espresso over ice is because I know that if I order an iced latte, what will come is 90% milk with 3 ice cubes.
Yeah.
I want the inverse. I want all ice to the top.
Right.
And then a gorgeous ratio of espresso and milk where I can taste the espresso.
I like my coffee as cold as like my martinis.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel like I'm drinking, sorry, trigger warning, 700 calories of whole milk. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
especially with her
ratios
iced
are
latte.
important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whew.
So anyway, I said, I'm so sorry. I ordered iced espresso, not an iced Americano. Just looked at me and then gave me a new one. But of course, when I got it back, Jan, it had espresso poured over ice, but like barely any ice left because the espresso had melted most of the ice. So then I had to say, can I have more ice?
Yeah.
And then it's just like death stare number 2.
Yeah.
And then just wait until I ask for the milk. Anyway,
It's a nightmare.
we're breathing.
Let's move on, please.
Let's get into very important news, okay? Because we are all holding hands together as a nation. We once believed in love, and now we're potentially questioning if it exists at all, okay?
Was it ever
Because
real?
Was anything ever real?
Mhm,
Okay?
mhm.
Because Ben
Was
Affleck and Jennifer
any
Lopez.
of it real?
What song is that?
You always sing Taylor Swift. You always do it. Was
any of it true? See,
True,
you got it
that's
wrong.
right. Yeah,
Wrong
I got it
lyric. Staring at me starry-eyed. We'll talk about them in a minute, Chandler. But E! News, Justin Sylvester, okay, he has said that he saw J-Lo and Ben Affleck in person at a dinner recently. He said, seems like they're enjoying themselves. This comes amidst so much news that this divorce is basically written, okay? That the papers have essentially been filed.
So I think Justin is a plant.
Okay, well, but listen to the quote. Okay, listen to the quote because this is what he says. He says, how do I say this on daytime? They looked like they were still enjoying one another. They looked like they were happy. They were chilling. He was his normal broody self. She was talking his ear off. Like they were in good form. Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
They were happy, except he looked like he was in a bad mood and she was talking his ear off.
Yeah, I don't really make sense of this. Also,
yeah.
Well, you go.
Well, I was going to say, did you see that? So TMZ has reported that they're selling their house, the house they bought together. That took them a long time to find.
Yeah.
I watched the video with our good friend Harvey/Howard, and he basically said that they spent $60.8 million on the house. They listed it for $60 million. Apparently, like they actually did, they made modifications, they did upgrades. So they're taking a loss on the house, especially after you account for agents' fees and commissions and all the fees. And so that leads me to believe that we either have a financial major issue, okay, they really need the money, or they're really desperate to move on and to be done with this phase of their lives.
Why are we getting all of these photo ops then? I don't know.
Of the two of them together?
Yeah.
See, I don't feel like we're actually seeing them together much at all.
I don't know. It seems like they're constantly in the news. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
they're
the strategy
constantly in
is
the
there.
news, but I don't think the last time we saw them was at that soccer game.
Yeah. Okay, I want to just bring up something kind of funny that I saw in this article.
Okay.
So if you scroll down to the comments, which I love to do because it's just like, it's the weirdest people on the internet that are commenting on like Daily Mail or Page 6 articles. And I just loved this very cryptic comment from someone BH. And it just says, I think Hoda is close friends with J-Lo. I'm sure she knows more than she lets on. It's just like,
give us the scoop, Hoda.
Hoda is literally like it was Hoda silenced or silent.
Right. No, she wants to keep those lunch invitations from J-Lo rolling in. She wants to stay in J-Lo's good graces. I think that there's just no way that they would be selling this house at a loss if things were all good.
Yeah. Wow. $60 million. $65 million?
$60 million. And also, Harvey had to offer that he says they spend money like crazy and that this is not like losing a few $1,000,000 on this when it's all said and done is not nothing to them.
Wow.
I know. All right, Chandler. Well, let's talk about another group of people to whom losing, a few $1,000,000 would also be a big deal. And that would be Denise Richards, Sammy Sheen, and Lola Sheen, Chandler, because they are hitting our screens in 2025 with Denise Richards in The Wild Things. This is a working title.
Wow. Is it really?
Yes, this is the working title. Denise Richards in The Wild Things. I'm guessing
I thought
The Wild. What?
Well, I like the title. I don't even think it needs to be working. Let's ship it. I like it.
Chandler, as a copywriter, she feels for whoever worked on this title and is ready to complete this project.
They don't need to noodle anymore. This one's good. Done is better than perfect.
This is what Denise had to say about the new show, Chandler. She said, my family and I are thrilled to return home to E! Sammy and Lola were just 3 and 4 years old when we first shared our story, and now we've come full circle. So Alex Baskin, who produces Vanderpump Rules and all of the In the Valley, he is the executive producer on Denise Richards and the Wild Things. And he said, with her return to E! We look forward to Denise and her family sharing their beautifully chaotic world with our audience, who will appreciate their candor and relatability as much as we do. The network said, this time around, life is more complicated and unpredictable. Richards and her family, which include daughters Sammy, Lola, and Eloise, and husband Aaron, test each other's boundaries and show us what their famous, loving, and controversial life is like.
I'm very excited. I will be watching this. I loved watching Denise on Beverly Hills. She makes great TV. I also am excited to see Aaron's antics back on my silver screen. His woo-woo stuff was so good on Beverly Hills. I cannot wait to have some more of that.
I want to see Aaron's healing modalities, going down on this. I want to hear them talk about OnlyFans.
Yes.
I want to hear them discuss the dynamic of, when they both have the ring lights up and they've hit record in separate rooms of their homes. I want to hear about the cash rolling in.
Here's a dark thought, but a positive dark thought I have. I would rather Denise Richards be on reality TV than other forms of making money.
You think that she's going to give up her other digital work, Chandler?
Yeah, I hope. Well,
No.
Is she like really committed to this OnlyFans nude thing?
Yes. She's fully on OnlyFans. I mean, I don't know how hardcore it is, but I know that her and at least one of the daughters are fully on OnlyFans.
I know the daughter is.
No, they're both on OnlyFans, and I bet you she sees it as an advertising tool for OnlyFans.
Right. Well,
I love it when Chandler's the pearl clutcher and she puts on the teal cap, because honestly, that's my true reaction to this news. And it's just better when I'm not always the one getting all Serena Joy on everyone.
I mean, I just think there's something about you and your mom being on OnlyFans. When Charlie Sheen is your dad, that's just like makes my stomach feel sad and hurt. And so I would love to see a reality TV show with their family dynamics, and I hope they're all getting a fat paycheck and they're putting it in an IRA.
I'm just going to take the very PC perspective. I'm excited for these girl bosses. They're girl bossing behind their camera lenses, and now they're going to be girl bossing on E! I can't wait to watch it all. It should certainly be interesting. Okay, other interesting news.
I want to talk about TJ and Amy quickly.
Okay, before we get to other interesting news, you want to talk about TJ and Amy?
Yeah, is that so wrong?
No, it feels so right. Let's talk about them.
I love talking about TJ and Amy personally. And I love it when snippets from their podcast make headlines, because I think it's fascinating to me. And so I'm just going to pull up the latest, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I already have something to say, but I'll pause.
Okay. Well, no, say it, please.
I saw an article recently about them, and I'm just like, barely anyone knows who these people are. How is this still front page news for the Daily Mail when Amy cried over something TJ said? I swear almost no one knows who these people are. And also, with the longer they're off GMA, the further, they sink into obscurity. So it's hilarious to me.
No, absolutely. But just so you know, in my house, as for me in my house, TJ and Amy will be a household name. Everyone will know. Everyone will know. So this latest headline, everybody, on page 6 says, TJ Holmes walked the streets, slept on a bench before Amy Robach saved him from awful depression. And, we didn't know this about TJ. We didn't know this.
What was why did he need to sleep on a bench? That's pretty extreme.
I know. Well, so originally when I saw this headline, my take was that just sounds like a normal day in New York where you walk the streets and you might lay down on a bench if you're tired. I literally got a little too tired on my run recently, and I laid down on a public bench just for a second.
Okay,
that's just a normal day. I didn't take a nap, but I'm you might just lay down in a public space.
No, I guarantee you Courtney has never laid down on a public bench.
Well, she's not very real for that. I'm real for that. I don't know. I just also I love this city. I don't mind laying on a bench or two. I took a shower after. The clothes are going to be laundered. It's Central Park. I'm sure there was fecal matter on the bench. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about TJ. TJ, though, used to walk from the ABC studio, which is nearby my house.
Okay.
The ABC studio uptown in the 60s to his downtown apartment, which was, I believe, a 5.2 mile journey. Let me just make sure I have that.
That's a walk. That's a workout. That's a journey.
Yeah, 5.2 mile walk. So he said, TJ Holmes, who was married to Marilee Feibig at the time, admitted that he knew it was, quote, pretty bad when he memorized the 5.2 walk from my home downtown to the ABC office on the Upper West Side in New York City. He said, I would walk back and forth in the middle of the night because I didn't want to go home, and I would just walk the streets.
Oh, I'm sorry. We posted about this on Instagram. It bears repeating, though. Like, not only does he cheat on his wife multiple times, publicly humiliate really himself. I was going to say her, but really it's humiliating himself. But now he has to say that he was so miserable with her. He was walking the streets in the middle of the night.
Let me continue. He goes, I can tell you, there's a bench on 14th Street, just west of Union Square, where I have actually slept at night. I was the best dressed homeless man you've ever seen in your life. And he reiterated how that time period was awful for him, but going to work with Amy eventually helped him get better. Quote, he says, she is seeing me deteriorate. She is seeing me not get help. She is seeing me the way nobody else was. And it became an issue where I would leave home to go to the studio. But what it really felt like was I was leaving home and going home, which was Amy Robach, which was Amy.
I'm calling bullshit on this. I don't think he ever slept a night outside, ever. So I'm sorry. I'm calling such BS on this.
You know who else is calling BS on it?
Who?
The people in the comment section. Sean A, for one.
Okay, what does he say?
Sean A, 23 hours ago, said he was depressed, walking the streets and sleeping on benches because he just ended his affair with that other producer. Along came Amy. Not really. She was there waiting for her turn. Like this.
Thank you, Sean.
Basically, the timelines line up for this period where he was walking the streets and also having an affair with the other producer on CBS Morning.
TJ, you know what? He is lost. He's a lost soul, Chandler. And I pray for his soul, okay? I pray for his soul because he's going to need it, okay? Once he meets his maker, that's for sure.
He literally is. I don't know. I want to get t-shirts or something against TJ. I don't know.
We would, if anyone has any idea for any merch we can have with obscure microaggressions or just full-on aggressions towards TJ Holmes, submit them.
Also, for anyone sort of new to the podcast, we did a full deep dive on their relationship, which is why we're coming to the table with a lot of baggage for these nobodies.
Yeah.
So if you want to go back, there is a I don't think we called it Great American Romance, but TJ and Amy, we talk about their whole relationship and why there's a lot more than what meets the eye there.
Yes, if you want to deep dive their TJ and Amy and their romance, okay, and their affairs, their adulteries. I'm gonna get the actual episode.
Yeah, get the
number
episode title
because, and this is why we keep our episode numbers. Because it's just so much easier for people to actually find the episodes. Although, you know what's a bummer about the episode numbers? Just an aside. What? We've done probably well over 400 episodes, but because we don't number the Patreon and subscriber episodes, we don't get the cred for that. Okay.
So true.
Let's see. You've never thought about that before, have you?
Well, can't we just also just double
everyone,
it because we do 2 a week? Anyway.
It's Episode 205, the GMA infidelity that shook our nation to its very core, a deep dive on the TJ Holmes and Amy Robach love affair.
Lauren has a gift for titling, everybody. If you've ever wondered where the copywriting genius behind our titles come from, it's Lauren.
I mean, sometimes I like to just make them a little obscure and a little mysterious, like the title for a Patreon episode from last Friday.
Scott hates it I feel like the SEO is so bad.
Yeah. Scott's like, stop. Okay. So let's move on though, everyone, because we have other breaking news. Okay. So whatever you're doing, you might want to sit down. You might want to stop driving. If you're operating any heavy machinery, shift it into park because Matty Healy, has talked about how he feels about Tortured Poets Department months after its release. So this was according to Us Weekly, but a source So a friend of his claims that, quote, Matty Healy loves the attention it's brought him, but he also thinks it's hilarious because at no time were they ever serious. Healy's pal added that the musician was completely blindsided by the Tortured Poets Department's lyrical content, especially Swift's allusions to her and a love interest discussing marriage and children. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So he wants it on the record that it was never that serious, never that big of a deal. Like, why is she making such a big deal of it? Like, why is she so hung up? Why is she so obsessed with him?
Right.
Also, that he doesn't have any recollection. You know, recollections may vary, Chandler, that there was ever, you know, talking rings and talking cradles, shit talking Taylor under the table.
Well, I just have to say that this is, what do we expect from a traitor like Matty Healy? Okay. Like this is why the album is about him and not about Joe, is because Matty Healy is going to do you dirty until the end of time.
No. Thank you so much. Yes, that's exactly true. I think that, and everyone needs to listen up. Every woman listening to this show right now needs to get out a pencil and write this down. But truly, men will use the idea that they're obsessed with you and like super into you and like would want to marry you and like it's like all written in the stars. Some guys use that literally as like a tactic to get laid. And they will be laying on like this idea that you guys are just like, you can't be together, you're not together, but like, wow, like the passion is there.
Right.
They're laying that on with 10 different girls at a time. And I think what happened to Taylor is what's happened to so many good American, honestly, women across the world. We have had men act like our love, our connection, it's star-crossed, it's written, it's so deep, it's just like unfathomable. You can't even articulate it. But in reality, it's actually just a shtick. Okay? I mean, and it's like a really messed up thing guys will do.
She said it best. A con man sells a get. Wait, what is it? Fuck. Don't tell me.
Don't tell me. Sells a get.
Let me say it. I want to say it.
A get love quick. Oh,
let me say it.
Love quick scheme.
She says it best. A con man sells a get love quick scheme.
I mean, are they secondhand embarrassed that something counterfeits dead? So she knew. She knew it wasn't real. She knew it wasn't real. And I think this happens.
This makes me wonder though, like, because Loss of My Life, I do think is about Joe, but it may be a little bit about Matty, but he just did her dirty.
Okay.
He did her dirty.
Here's the thing. The power of Taylor's imagination, it is, you know, the power of a thousand suns. Okay. If we could have Taylor's imagination as an energy source, we would be done with global warming as a humanitarian crisis, because she could power the earth for eternity with her imagination.
No thanks, Elon. We don't need your solutions.
Yes, exactly. Like, go to Taylor for whatever battery you need. If we had her imagination, as a source we could tap into, it's so powerful. And I think the problem is that Taylor is so romantic and lovesick and imaginative that she was like the perfect victim for someone, for a con man like Matty, because she bought all of the like crumbs he would leave her. Okay. All of the songs
he would send
her to believe that were either written about her, you know, or songs like he would send her that were about her, that he was probably DMing or sending to a bunch of other girls. She let her mind run wild. And I think sometimes for women, for girls, I don't mean to be exclusionary, but I'm just speaking to my own heteronormative experience. Okay, nail me to the cross like Vicki Gunvalson. But I just feel like sometimes you can let yourself, like your mind, get away with, like for Taylor, this was like an internal experience where she went crazy.
Well,
on someone, on his bullshit.
Whoa. Do not call her crazy. Do not call her crazy.
Sorry. But she did. She said she went mad.
I think absolutely. I think you are correct. I think you're absolutely correct. I think that he totally swept her up, and I think she was primed for this relationship to be the one. I think also coming out of her relationship with Joe, where she was just like kind of like existing on scraps, surviving on scraps. Like this had such like a long build up period that she was just so ready for this to be like supersonic. So yeah, of course she was like, the perfect victim, sadly. And I think it's impossible not to romanticize an amazing relationship, especially at the beginning when you're like, wait, I've had a crush on this guy forever. Wait, this is everything. He's this amazing rock star. I'm this on top of the world pop star. Like together we could be the two greatest artists of all time.
The tortured poets together. We're both crazy. That's why we're meant for each other.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I think that our girl suffered from a very common ailment, okay, which is getting just completely bamboozled by a con man.
Well,
and love and light to Taylor. So glad she's moved on with Travi. And
so
also,
I want to just,
by the way, this quote, sorry, you can talk in a second, but this quote just goes to prove that Matty is exactly who she says he was. The smallest man who ever lived. Because why does he need to make it so clear right now that their relationship was never that big of a deal? It just makes him look like an asshole.
Is there anything more belittling too than he also thinks it's hilarious because at no time were they ever that serious?
That's what I'm referring to.
No, I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's him saying. Yeah.
And
they were
it's
never
like,
really together.
He loves the attention it's brought to him. Like he's thriving. He couldn't, this is like, no part of this is negative to him or has any type of real impact on him, I guess.
It's just like, it is such the move of a dick guy like that to be like, you're breaking up with me? Like, was there even something to break up with? Like, I just feel like it's like he's trying to invalidate her feelings, further gaslight her.
Yes.
Throw him in jail. Throw away the keys. Prison for this man. Okay?
Yeah.
Preferably one Chandler can visit for a conjugal visit. Okay. Okay, well, moving on to other T-Swift news. Sorry, non-Swifties, but there's a little bit more. You guys...
Another man speaking about Taylor in the press.
Another man, exactly. So Donald Trump, everyone, was interviewed for a book that's coming out about him. And the author of the book asked him what he thought of Taylor Swift, as she was one of the biggest stars of our time, or the biggest star of our time.
Why is this a part of the book? I don't get it.
So this is what Trump said. He says, she's got great star quality. She really does. And then he continued, I think she's beautiful, very beautiful. I find her to be very beautiful. I think she's liberal, though. She probably doesn't like Trump. I hear she's very talented. I think she's very beautiful, actually. Unusually beautiful. Trump also said that he didn't know Taylor's music well. And then he asked the author, the person interviewing him, he said, but she is a liberal, or is that just an act? She's legitimately liberal. It's not an act. It surprises me that a country star can be successful being liberal. But then he went on to say, but Garth Brooks is liberal. Explain that. How does it happen? But he's liberal. It's one of those things. According to the author, he then trailed off. So good.
Unusually beautiful. Like, what does that even mean?
Someone made the very, the very obvious statement. Like, of course, Trump reduces Taylor to her looks.
Yeah,
he's not gonna get into the canon of her musical contribution.
No. Right. I mean, he clearly isn't a Swiftie because he also still thinks that she's a country music star.
Right. He's like, exactly. He's like, I love the one about the slam and screen door. No, I feel like I would like to issue a proclamation to the world. Okay. Another deep cut. I would like to issue a programming recommendation for anyone who is working on the presidential debates right now. Let's scrap anything geopolitical, anything about issues of our facing our times. If you want me to watch this, I want to see Joe and Dawn. I want to see them debate about which Tortured Poets tracks are about Matty and which are about Joe Alwyn.
Oh, I love that. And right? Love that idea. We could also have them lip sync for their life. Some Taylor songs.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
What if Travis Kelce moderated the debates?
Travis Kelce should moderate the debates. We should have them do live reactions to watching her music videos for the first time.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Joe and Dawn at the Eras Tour. That's the kind of presidential coverage that I'm interested when, even though I don't vote because I live in Puerto Rico, but if I were to vote, that's what I would be interested in. I am sort of the voice of some people.
As someone who does vote, that's what I'm also interested in.
Okay, well, great. It's settled.
Lauren, before we depart, I want to ask you, do you have any thoughts on Travis Kelce in the car wash video?
So apparently he has some sort of like financial investment in this car wash video, or the car wash, excuse me. Like he's maybe an owner of this car wash.
So this is kind of like his Meghan Markle coffee company cameo.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I think that when it comes to Travi, I think that Taylor is not holding him to this bar of like whatever you do has to be like cool. I think Taylor's incredibly down to earth. And also I think it's probably quite refreshing for her to have a boyfriend who's making some dollar bills.
Right.
You know,
right.
that could even in some level compare to her. And so maybe she likes it.
Totally. Yeah, it's true.
He's putting in the work.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, you know, that Joe would not take anything.
No, would never.
She probably finds his just like jovial, down to earthness to be so refreshing.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and he's like, you know, can afford to split the check.
Oh, he can afford the jet, okay, to wherever they're going. Even though they'll probably
split the check.
Let's be honest.
What am I talking about? He's buying dinner.
He can afford to split the check.
Sorry. Right now, I'm like I said, I'm in a financially untenable state. So splitting the check is on the brain.
Chandler, it's been so gorgeous to record with you today. Anything else we need to get into on this wonderful Tuesday in June?
No, nothing else. We do have more topics, though, from this week that we're going to get into on the Patreon, which I can't wait.
Yes. The Patreon this week is going to be fantastic. So, you know, if you love the show, you can subscribe on Apple or on Patreon for our bonus content. We're also slinging more bonus content on Instagram. And yeah, it's great to be here with you. It's great to have our podcast together. It's great to be alive.
Lauren, I find you to be unusually beautiful, just so you know.
Oh, it reminds me of the time when you told me that
here we go.
You're like, you radiate self-love, but it wasn't in a nice way. It was kind of like,
I don't actually believe that anymore. So
yeah, like you anyway, it was a little bit surprising.
I mean, you radiate confidence. I don't know that you radiate self-love. So I was like,
it's
fully
retracted.
delusional when I said that. It's fully retracted. Do you think I radiate self-love? I don't think I do.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely
honestly
not.
Screw those people.
People who radiate self-love are odious and annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be the person who's like complimenting yourself. Let other people do that. You know, you want to be the person that's bringing yourself back down to earth.
I just think you and I don't post enough like self-love quotes on Instagram to be like radiating self-love.
Because I'm on the fence. You know, the jury's out.
Likewise, baby.
Okay, love you guys. Truly, we'll be back on Friday. Bye.
Bye.
That's all for now, folks. Don't forget, give us a 5-star review, hit us up on Instagram at Popapologists, and we will see you next week, live every Wednesday.